look back to grade 5 when I had my first brother teacher, his brother Jeffrey. And very sadly, Brother Jeffrey died here in the Philippines at the age of, I think, 28 in Iligan.
So I was this young second-year student entering the classroom, and all of a sudden there's this very formal-looking female teacher, and very sophisticated-looking actually. And I first thought that, oh no, this teacher might be very strict.
Even when I was grade 7, he looked very young. He was always formal. He seemed to be always in control of his temper. He does not get moody, and he had the way of talking to the class. He had a deep voice, class, like that. So
Brother Greg was a very intimidating person. He was quite tall. He had white hair. He always had his briefcase. He didn't have a lot of interesting strategies, but what's impressive about him was that he knew his stuff. He did not have to consult his notes. He did not have to look at any reference at all. When he came to class, he was 100% prepared, and I always want to be like him, but I can't.
He was strict, but he was also very kind, you know. So he had that balance between strictness, and yet you knew that he understood us as being rowdy, naughty kids. You know, he treated us as kids because he realized that we were just acting out our age, and so he was very patient that way. But at the same time, he required, you know, that we behave, that we study, that we stand up properly when we have to answer. All those things that go into good classroom management.
that class has opened up a lot of horizons for me and my classmates. We became more interested in literature, and we began to question the things we like reading and studying, and we began to look for a deeper meaning in the things we hear and read.
You know, he gave us a calendar of activities for that semester, and that included quizzes and lectures. Around midterm, we were following that calendar to the letter. And that shows how organized and how well thought out that course was. And I said, this is a teacher I really admire.
There's this one time when I was a novice, I wanted to leave the brothers. And I thought I will. And so when my novice master asked me, would you like to talk to someone else? Immediately, she popped into my mind. And it served double purpose. One is because I wanted someone professional to help me with what I'm going through. And at the same time, I would like someone whom I can trust. We met in this mall. It was a Saturday afternoon. The first thing she asked me was, okay, if you're not going to be a brother, what's your plan? And I said, I'm going to enter law school. Then immediately she said, you're not good to be a lawyer. I said, why? Am I not competent? And she said, no, it's not because of your competence, but because of your integrity. Then she goes further by saying, and you will not be a good husband either. So I said, why? And she said, well, you're a free spirit, and I think it will be difficult for your spouse if ever you will have one. And so I think the life of the brothers is for you. And then we kept on talking. But you know, her style is to say, you're not good in this, you're not good in that. But she didn't stop there. She reminded me that I could be better in the vocation that I have chosen.
Very often I would call him. I know he's very busy in his current office now, but he would always be willing to answer my calls and my questions. And just like when I was in grade 7, he would always answer them patiently and carefully. Even if it seems like sometimes my questions were so basic, he never lost patience with me. It's the same from the time I was grade 7 to the present time when I've been an administrator. And yeah, so yes, he was very influential.
Actually, okay, it's a little bit sad. That came when his body had been brought from Iligan, and I went to the chapel, and and he was lying there in the wake, you know. And yeah, I guess that sparked something in me when I saw that, you know, this young brother who was full of life had, in a sense, given up his life, you know. And I think maybe subconsciously, not very consciously, but subconsciously at that point, probably that's one of the things that eventually made me decide.
This was his last retreat in the Philippines before he came back to the United States. This retreat was held in a novitiate in Lipa, and it was the Easter Vigil and all the lights were off. Somehow he got left behind, and he had bad eyesight at this time. And I had the privilege this time of guiding him towards the chapel through the darkness. So we were stumbling together in the darkness, and I felt that it was basically things were coming full circle. That here was a man who guided me. I wasn't even a brother then, but now as a brother, I get to guide him. And he said, "Thank you."
My favorite teacher was Mr. Ramel Javier of Lasalle Green Hills. Mr. Ramel, thank you very much.
Brother Greg, you're in heaven, but thank you for teaching me.
Brother Jeffrey, you are such a great guy, and it's because of you that I decided to join the brothers.
Dr. Lane, I wish to thank you because not only have you taught me how to be a competent psychology graduate, but you have also taught me how to be a very passionate teacher.